The day 124, again the author speaks about the contemplative meditativeness on the calmness of Sri Ram at the dawn. As we have seen earlier, dawn is not that dawn of the sun's breakout, but that is that sandhi. In the sense, whenever you get any free time between two activities, that is a sandhi, that is sandhya, that is a dawn. For example, you are working on a system and you press the enter button, and after pressing the enter button and for the response to take place, there is a second time. Just imagine. Or you are booting something and there is some booting time. That is sandhi. During that period, think of Lord Ram. Or you are signing a file, you cross one file and take the other file. Having signed, you put it on the out tray, and from the in tray, you take one more file. In between this gap, you are supposed to think of dawn. A teacher walks in and a teacher walks out. Before walking out and walking in, there is a sandhi. During that time, think of the Lord. You turn on the stove and you bring the vessel onto the stove. That is sandhi. No, I place the vessel and then I turn on the stove. Wonderful. After turning the knob and the lighter, this no, ours is auto on. What in this auto on? While turning from off to on, that itself is a sandhi. Think of Ram. That is how we should think of. And he says, Sada Ramanhame Vada Purnakame Kadha Bhadijena Padha Nityaneme Madhalasya Sarvasodunidhyava Prabhate Manim Ramachintita Java Prabhate Manim Ramachintita Java. So during that sandwich time, meditate on Ram and keep going on, says this. What does the first line say? Sada Ramaname Vada Purnakame. He says, Sada, always, Ramaname, take the name of the Lord. In sense, Japam. Japam, there are three varieties of Japam. That is the loud Japam, and at the lip level and at the psychological level. Initially, we advise the loud Japam to be done, the Ucha Japam as we call it as, have a rosary bead in your hand, chant, and then turn, because the whole body and mind are integrated. Or else there is a possibility where mechanically you'll be taking the japam and the mind keeps wandering hither and thither. Yes, there are experts, even with the japamala in hand, they think here and there and they keep it. That is always there. But to some extent it is better. And he says, Sada Ramaname Vada, he says. Vada means keep speaking of wherever, whatever you want to speak about Ram is one thing. Other one, wherever, whatever, whomever you are addressing, address as Ram. Hey Ram, how are you Ram? Did you have lunch Ram? Did you do the homework Ram? Tomorrow which period is free Ram? Tomorrow can I handle your period Ram? I have to complete this portion. Like that. You add this injunction everywhere as Ram, Ram, Ram in your communication. That itself, without your knowledge, Nama Japam happens. That is the reason why in our system, all the names, when you do Namakaranam, you take the name of the Lord from the Sahasrama. It can be either for a boy or for a girl. And we name because we are thinking of the Lord, we are chanting the Lord's name. However it is, I tell you, you chant Lord's name, you reap the benefit. You know the story of Ajamara, how he gained moksha the last time. When before the last breath, he calls his lovable last youngest son Narayana. He is named after Narayana, and Narayana comes and takes him. So we know all that. And then he says, Kadha bhadi jena padha nitya nema. He says, Kada ever bhadi jeva, when you are affected with difficulties, when there are ups and downs in life, when there is up, we don't think. Only when there is downfall, we think. Sankata Kale Venkata Ramana, as the famous saying goes. Pada Nitya Neme, he says, affectionately you take his name. Hymns. Pada means a word, but here you can take it as a word in sense a hymn, a slokam, a verse. Nitya means Nitya one is daily. Here Nitya you should take it as constantly. Nitya Krutya Karma, we have seen that in Bhagavad Gita. Ordained action, daily actions, forbidden action, special actions, all this. So Nitya here, it is constantly. How constant? Adhyadharaya. We have seen that in Ramana Maharshi's composition. Vedanta Sar. It should be like clarified butter without any what you call air bubbles in between. Constant, steady. Say name. That should be your discipline. Your discipline is to chant the Lord's name constantly, always. Mhm. Then who will do my work? Yesterday, I think, not yesterday, sometime back, we went to one spiritual center. And there was a wonderful talk for 20 minutes. After the talk, the gathers disappeared. Means they were going back either to their lunch places or restroom and all. And the pravachakara, the person who gave the talk, he went to his room to rest in the afternoon for 2 hours. Then the devotees, they were speaking. He has no work. He keeps telling, do always, think always. But who will do my work? So that says there's lack of Shraddha. In the earlier classes, we have seen Shraddha is of highest importance. If there's no Shraddha, will not reap results. We understand that that master attained that state only by this constant, disciplined, either chanting of hymns or Nama Sankirtan or whatever it is. So he has advised the same. If you can't do it, okay. But don't say it is not possible. As I said, being in the household work, because that was said by a lady, being in the household work, you can think there is so many gaps, there are so many sandhis in life. Yes, or else at least before going to bed, when you are lying on the bed, just think of Ram and slide to sleep. The whole sleep gets converted into Rama Nama Japam, and the first thought that you get up will be the last thought when you slept. That is a chain. Think. Therefore, night at least before going to bed, think of that and glide into sleep. So morning you take off, you wake up from that Nama Japam. That is not possible. This is not possible. Nothing is possible. It is impossible. It is possible. And then Kada bhadi jena pada nitya nema madhalasya sarva sodhe nidhyava. He says, Alasi means late. We have all studied late Latif story. Time and tide waits for none. So he says, laziness has to be given up. Alasi. Madhalasya. Here he says of highest degree. Insolence. He says, ha, this sarva all soduni. We have seen earlier means abandoning. Dhyava will give rise to or give up. So, how is it possible in the sense we should give up alasi or madalasi, give up laziness, then you get that. What? That thought. Or else you put this as your highest priority. You want to study, you are opening a book. Before opening a book, think of Sri Ram. You are flipping a page, think of Sri Ram. You are taking a pen from the pen stand, take Sri Ram. You are opening a laptop for online class, say Sri Ram. You are pressing the boot button, say Sri Ram. And after pressing the boot button, it takes 10 seconds to boot. Ram, Ram, Ram. You see, there's so much of Sandhi Avasthi in our life. But we keep thinking mechanically, we keep doing taka, 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 taka. You take the plug, put the plug, switch on. Like a machine we have become. We should be alert every second. That is what we had done other day in the Anapana meditation. What is that? Jage pratikshana. Every second you should be jage means awakened to the alertness to 100%. Then it is possible. So with this thought, we'll conclude here and thanks for being with Jai Shri Ram.